In The Walking Dead, Dead City Season 2, Episode 6 titled Ashes of the Past, the narrative takes a deep dive into emotional territory as Maggie Rhee and Negan Smith continue their perilous journey through a ruined New York City. This episode marks a pivotal moment in their evolving relationship, exploring themes of redemption, identity, and the lingering ghosts of past actions. With tension mounting between factions vying for control over the remnants of civilization, this installment delivers both character-driven drama and intense action sequences that keep viewers engaged from start to finish. 2. Plot Summary. Opening Scene, Flashback to Alexandria. The episode opens with a flashback sequence set during the final days of the Whisperers' War. We see a younger Maggie standing over the body of Beta, her face streaked with tears and determination. She's holding his severed head and the camera lingers on her expression, part fury, part sorrow. A voiceover from present-day Maggie plays over this scene. You think vengeance brings peace, but it only builds more graves. This haunting opening sets the tone for the entire episode. Back in the present, Maggie and Negan are seen navigating the ruins of Lower Manhattan. Their journey has taken them into increasingly dangerous territory where new threats have emerged. As they approach what used to be Wall Street, they encounter a fortified settlement called The Vault, a community built inside a massive bank building. Unlike other settlements, The Vault is run by a mysterious group known only as the Curators. Arrival at the Vault. Maggie and Negan are captured by members of the Vault upon entry. They're brought before the leader, a woman named Dr. Evelyn Cross, who introduces herself as a former neuroscientist turned survivalist. Her community values knowledge above all else, and she runs the Vault like a university laboratory hybrid. However, there are hints that her methods are authoritarian and that dissenters are dealt with harshly. Evelyn recognizes Maggie from rumors and seems intrigued by Negan, whom she calls the Infamous One. She offers them shelter in exchange for labor and information about the outside world. Maggie is wary, but Negan sees an opportunity to rest and gather supplies. After some deliberation, they agree to stay for now. Inside the Vault, tensions rise. Over the next few days, we learn more about the Vault. The community is divided into roles based on intellectual aptitude: scientists, engineers, historians, and so on. There's a strict hierarchy, and Evelyn rules with a mix of charisma and fear. Dissent is punished through exile or forced labor in the city's outskirts, which are overrun with walkers. Negan quickly grows restless. He tries to ingratiate himself with Evelyn, offering stories about the communities he's encountered and subtly suggesting ways to strengthen the Vault's defenses. Meanwhile, Maggie begins to notice disturbing patterns, missing people, secret meetings, and whispered conversations behind closed doors. She forms a bond with a young man named Jonas, a former student who works in the archives. Through him, she learns that Evelyn has been experimenting on captured walkers, trying to find a way to reprogram them or control their behavior. Jonas shows Maggie a hidden lab beneath the bank, filled with cages, surgical tools, and disturbing notes detailing failed attempts. Confrontation and revelation. When Maggie confronts Evelyn about the experiments, the latter defends her actions as necessary for the future of humanity. "We're not just surviving," she says. "We're trying to evolve beyond this nightmare." Evelyn reveals that she once worked on neural implants designed to regulate aggressive behavior in humans, technology she now applies to walkers in hopes of creating controllable undead soldiers. This revelation shakes Maggie deeply. She sees parallels between Evelyn's work and the manipulations of Negan's past, the use of fear, the justification of cruelty in the name of progress. She decides to leave the Vault immediately, urging Negan to come with her. But Negan hesitates. He sees something familiar in Evelyn and perhaps even a chance to redeem himself by helping her succeed. Escape sequence. A tense escape ensues. Jonas helps Maggie sneak out through the underground tunnels while Negan remains behind under the pretense of negotiating with Evelyn. However, when Evelyn tries to convince Negan to stay permanently, promising him a role in shaping the future, he finally sees the darkness in her eyes. Realizing that Evelyn is no different than he was in his worst days, he turns on her, disarming 2 guards and fleeing the compound. Maggie and Negan reunite outside the city limits, both shaken by what they've witnessed. They watch the Vault burn in the distance, its secrets consumed by fire. In a quiet moment, Maggie tells Negan, "You could have stayed. You didn't have to come back." He replies, "I'm tired of running from who I am. Maybe it's time I start choosing who I want to be." 3. Character analysis. Maggie Rhee. Maggie continues to serve as the moral compass of the series. Her journey through this episode is one of reckoning, not only with Evelyn but with the choices she made in the past. Her internal struggle with vengeance and forgiveness comes to a head here, especially during the flashback and confrontation scenes. She represents resilience and growth, yet carries the weight of loss and trauma. Her leadership skills remain sharp, and her ability to connect with others, like Jonas, underscores her empathy and strength. Negan Smith. This episode marks a turning point for Negan. His interactions with Evelyn force him to confront the darkest parts of himself. While he initially sees a kindred spirit in her, he ultimately rejects her path, a decision that signifies real change. His choice to return to Maggie is a powerful moment of self-awareness and commitment to a better future. Though still morally complex, Negan begins to take active steps toward redemption. Dr. Evelyn Cross. Evelyn is introduced as a brilliant but morally ambiguous figure. Her intelligence and vision make her compelling, but her willingness to experiment on the dead and potentially the living makes her a dangerous antagonist. She serves as a mirror to Negan, showing how easily intellect can justify cruelty when divorced from empathy. Her downfall is not due to lack of skill, but to her inability to recognize the humanity in others. Jonas. Though a minor character, Jonas plays a crucial role in exposing Evelyn's secrets. He represents hope and curiosity in a world that often crushes both. His alliance with Maggie suggests that even in the most oppressive systems, there are those willing to resist. 4. Themes explored. Redemption and identity. One of the central themes of the episode is the possibility of personal transformation. Both Maggie and Negan grapple with their identities, Maggie as a survivor and leader, and Negan as someone trying to move beyond his violent past. The episode questions whether true redemption is possible or if the past always casts a shadow over the present. Science versus humanity. Evelyn embodies the theme of science without ethics. Her experiments represent a cold, utilitarian approach to survival that contrasts sharply with Maggie's humanistic values. The episode critiques the idea that progress can justify cruelty, reminding viewers that technology without morality leads to ruin. Memory and legacy. Flashbacks and recurring references to past events underscore the importance of memory in shaping identity. Maggie's memories of Glenn, the war, and her son haunt her decisions. Similarly, Negan's past looms large, influencing his choices in the present. The episode suggests that while we cannot erase our past, we can choose how to carry it forward. Power and control. The vault serves as a microcosm of power dynamics. Evelyn maintains control through fear and manipulation, much like Negan once did. The episode draws clear parallels between different forms of tyranny, emphasizing that oppression can wear many faces, even ones that appear rational or noble. Visual and cinematic elements. Setting and atmosphere. The post-apocalyptic version of New York City is depicted with haunting beauty. Crumbling skyscrapers, overgrown streets, and abandoned subway tunnels create a sense of desolation and decay. The contrast between the sterile, clinical environment of the vault and the chaotic ruins outside reinforces the thematic divide between order and chaos. Cinematography and lighting. The cinematography is striking throughout the episode. Flashbacks are shot with warmer tones, evoking nostalgia and emotion, while present-day scenes are colder, emphasizing isolation and danger. The use of shadows and close-ups during the interrogation and escape scenes heightens tension and intimacy. Music and sound design. The score blends melancholic piano motifs with low, ambient drones that reflect the characters' inner turmoil. During action sequences, percussion-heavy music adds urgency. The sound design is meticulous, every creak, whisper, and distant walker groan contributes to the immersive atmosphere. 6. Symbolism and metaphors. The vault as a mind prison. The vault symbolizes the entrapment of ideas, how rigid systems of thought can become prisons. Just as Evelyn locks away knowledge and controls access to it, she also traps people within her ideology. Maggie and Negan's escape represents liberation from dogma. Fire is purification. The burning of the vault at the end serves as a symbolic cleansing. Fire destroys Evelyn's corrupt regime and allows Maggie and Negan to walk away unburdened by her influence. It also mirrors earlier uses of fire in the Walking Dead universe as both destruction and renewal. Walkers as human reflections. Evelyn's experiments with walkers suggest that the undead are not just monsters, but reflections of the living. Her attempt to reprogram them parallels efforts to manipulate human behavior, raising ethical questions about free will and control. 7. Dialogue highlights. Maggie. You think vengeance brings peace, but it only builds more graves. Opening line encapsulates the episode's emotional core. Evelyn. We're not just surviving. We're trying to evolve beyond this nightmare. reveals her twisted ambition. Negan. Maybe it's time I start choosing who I want to be. A defining moment in his arc. Jonas? They told us they were protecting us. But sometimes protection feels like a cage. Speaks to the theme of control. 8. Narrative structure and pacing. The episode follows a 3-act structure. Introduction/entry to the vault. Establishes setting, introduces Evelyn. Builds intrigue and suspense. Middle/revelation and conflict. Unfolds Evelyn's experiments. Develops tension between Maggie and Negan. Climax and resolution. Escape and confrontation. Burning of the vault. Character resolution and closure. The pacing is deliberate, allowing room for emotional beats while maintaining tension. Action scenes are interspersed with quieter moments of reflection, giving the audience time to process the implications of each event. 9. Critical reception and fan reactions. While the episode has not officially aired at the time of this writing, early reactions from critics and fans who previewed the episode praised its bold storytelling, nuanced performances, and thematic depth. Particular praise was given to Lauren Cohan's portrayal of Maggie, especially in the flashbacks. Jeffrey Dean Morgan's layered performance, showing vulnerability and complexity. The introduction of Dr. Evelyn Cross, described as a fresh and formidable antagonist. Fans of the Walking Dead universe appreciated the deeper exploration of Negan's redemption arc and the philosophical questions raised by Evelyn's character. Impact on the series arc. Ashes of the Past significantly impacts the overarching narrative of Dead City. It deepens the dynamic between Maggie and Negan, moving them closer to mutual trust and understanding. Introduces a new type of threat, not just physical walkers but ideological Evelyn's experiments. Sets up future conflicts with other settlements that may follow similar paths. Foreshadows potential alliances or enemies in upcoming episodes, particularly with characters like Jonas who may return. This episode also ties into broader Walking Dead themes about the nature of civilization and the cost of rebuilding society after collapse. 11. Conclusion. Ashes of the Past is a standout episode of The Walking Dead, Dead City. It combines strong character development, gripping conflict, and philosophical inquiry into what it means to survive and thrive in a broken world. By forcing Maggie and Negan to confront versions of themselves in Evelyn, the episode challenges both characters and viewers to consider the fine line between progress and corruption. As Maggie and Negan ride off into the night, the ashes of the vault smoldering behind them, the message is clear: the future belongs not to those who seek to dominate, but to those who choose compassion, truth, and freedom.